Hey folks, how we doing today? It's me again, Shannon Fox here, Devoted Patriots 2 channel, and I have got a couple of great clips here for you, a little bit of confirmation of what is really going on. I have been watching the news pretty close here lately, the last few days. I have seen more and more panic from the left. I'm talking about CNN, MSNBC. I'm talking about Obama advisors coming out and saying Joe Biden can't win. It's looking good for the Republican Party. It's looking good for Donald Trump. As long as Donald Trump is on the ticket, it looks like it's going to be a landslide. I won't say the word red wave. That is obviously a bad omen at this point. But at any rate, I believe all the numbers show and all the polls are showing, including the MSNBC and the CNN and the Quinnipiac, all these different left-wing leaning polls are showing that Biden needs to drop out if the Democrats are going to stand a chance. And that's their theory. And one thing I heard today from a Democratic strategist that advised Obama, he said earlier today, he said he doesn't know if if Biden can beat Trump. He says at this point in the game, there's a real problem with replacing Biden with another candidate like Gavin Newsom. The fact is you have to throw your hat in the ring by a certain deadline, and in certain states that is already passed. So the only way that this will work for it to be anybody else other than Joe Biden for the 2024 Democrat candidacy is for it to be Kamala. And he believes, now he could be wrong, but this guy believed that they will put Kamala in there and hope that they will get the black vote. And that's why I brought you both of these videos today, because this is about fear-mongering. It's about people like Al Sharpton with their negative spin on the truth, to black Democratic representatives who are very outspoken, who are pissed off at the immigration situation happening in their hometown, New York City. This lady here on this first video, I've seen a couple of her videos in the past where, not that I follow Democrats so much, but she is definitely pissed off at Eric Adams, Joe Biden, and the whole situation with taking away from her community in order to share the wealth with the influx of the immigrants that seem to be showing up, whether they be plane loads in the middle of the night from Joe Biden or bus loads from Abbott or DeSantis. She's just tired of it, and I can't blame her. We're tired of it here in Texas too, for the record. But like I said, I got two video clips for you. They're both about 3 minutes long. I will stop one of them just because there's a few things I just got to say. But a little bit of fear mongering at the end. It's showing the Democrats are in panic, full-blown panic. They do not have a game plan to finish this game the winner. They don't have an ace up their sleeve. They don't have anything better than Kamala Harris at this point to throw at the Democrat Party and hope that they will back it. Now, this hating on Trump, this orange man bad, new indictments, whatever they want to throw at Trump, even the legality, the suing him, trying to put him in jail, everything they've tried to do at this point, it's not working. And so they're at a point of between now and next November will be the event horizon of how they're going to handle the fact that they can't stop Trump. I believe that, not just with hope, but with faith, that Trump will win, and not by a little bit so they can fudge the numbers, but by a lot. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're going to get the black vote. We're going to get a lot of the Muslim vote. We're going to get a lot of the people from India, people from Vietnam, Korea. We're going to get the Asian vote. Why? Because all in all, a lot of these people come from countries which are what Trump would call shithole countries. And so they know what it's like to live under bad government. And they're seeing what's going on right now here in this country. And they know they can't vote for another 4 years of that. And this first video shows it true, and this second video explains how the Democrats are dealing with it. They're in full-blown lying, fear-mongering, orange man bad, Trump derangement syndrome, panic, hoping that they're going to keep, and this is the plan of this second video, hoping that they're going to keep their base focused that Joe Biden must be the right man for the job. It's not working, folks. People feel it in their pocketbook, and they know. They know within a shadow of a doubt. Things aren't better than they were 3 years ago. They're not. Nobody can say that today with an honest face. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, folks. Now it says Biden loses ground with young and independent voters. Now Fox has a show where they do live, basically questionnaires from 4 or 5 people, maybe 8 people on a panel sometimes, and they ask them a lot of times about who they're going to vote for, why they would vote on this, why they would vote on that. Basically like a forum type panel questionnaires. But Representative Madeline Brame, who is a Democrat, like I said, come on as one of the half a dozen panelists on here and answered some questions, and she lit them up. Let's go ahead and get into it.
The pike that are going to affect the brown and black community, just like the illegals that are being pushed into these communities, sucking up the resources from the longtime residents that live there. All right, taxpayers. Poor taxpayers are now going to have to foot the bill for these people, and we can't even afford to pay our own rent. All right. Now we have tax coming down to programs and different things that are going to be cut directly from our community to pay for illegals. All right. There's a problem with that. There's a huge problem with it. And, you know, minorities may be silent as far as being vocal, but I believe that, you know, in 24, this new election, the next cycle, we're going to see a overwhelmingly amount of people that we have not seen in 30 years come out to vote. All right, people are being educated on the voter registration piece, how to change their party affiliation, question number 14 on their voter registration form, and people are walking away from the plantation of the Democratic Party once and for all.
Aliza, the Democrats, as an independent voter, you probably see this, they target different groups. It doesn't look like the targeting of minorities, young voters, is working for them.
No.
Could you see yourself giving the Democrats a shot this election?
I really am focused right now on the security of this country, and which I do think is tied directly to the security in Israel, the only democratic state in the Middle East. So for me, my issues, which are normally, you know, abortion and rights and equality for everyone, right now I am a single issue voter. So I will vote for whoever I think is the strongest on those subjects.
Speaking of abortion, Stephanie, it looks like the Democrats are going to double down on that being the main issue. And they've gotten some great success from it in the past elections, especially the midterms. Do you think that issue alone is going to be enough for the Democrats to reelect Joe Biden?
Look, if you ask me on a personal level how I vote on abortion, I am pro-choice 100% of the time. However, to me, it's a secondary issue right now. First, we have to make sure that America is around for the next 4 years and not turned into another country that's part of the Middle East. I mean,
are you hearing what I'm hearing, folks? Abortion was the #1 issue that the Democrats used in 2020 and 2022 in the midterms to really kick our ass at the polls. They used it as an emotional pinpoint for the Democrats. It riled people up and made them go vote. But you're listening to Democrats here on the panel that care, that voted on the abortion issue. But today, it's secondary. They're more worried about security of the country. They're more worried about war. They're worried about how we're handling international situations. That's the right answer, folks. These folks are coming around.
I mean, I'm serious. This is a real threat to democracy. We're seeing it unravel in front of our own eyes, and we're not doing anything to combat it. So I can wait and talk about abortion later, but I also want to point out that for the first time, abortion rights were reduced under President Biden. That was not under a Republican leader. So I think it's totally irrelevant who our president is if we're really talking about concretely when rights are altered.
Such a good point, Mayor and Sergio. I only got about 30 seconds. If you had the opportunity to speak to the president, what would you tell him?
I would tell him it's time to retire.
Yeah. Sergio.
Same thing, man. Just try to leave this a little bit better than the damage you've already done.
Yeah. Well, he said he was going to unify the country. I don't think he meant by unifying the country against him. 70% of the country say we're heading down the wrong direction.
They tearing his ass up, folks. That is the good stuff. I can't lie to you. I like it. I like it. Now, I've got another video clip for you, like I said. And this is clips like this, people reacting like this, polls. This is why the news pundits are panicking. They're not just panicking that Joe Biden may not win, the Democrat Party may not be in control. They're worried about Trump coming back in there, putting people in jail, defunding with the FCC, defunding the lying news media, suing people for defamation, preventing NGOs from doing illegal activities, including trafficking, closing the border. Trump has got a list of deporting people that shouldn't be here, handling up on people who are doing terrorist actions in this country, domestic terrorism in the right, proper way, dealing with the weaponization of the government that has been weaponized against only a particular class of people. Trump's going to take care of all this. If any of you have watched any of Trump's videos on YouTube or on Rumble, Agenda 47, he has got a hell of a plan to take our country back. And the clock's ticking. It's coming. The left feels it. They feel it breezing down the back of their neck. Trump's coming. If they can't stop him with lawfare, legally, by prosecuting him, if there's no way with the court's help they can prevent him from running in 2024, they may not be able to cheat enough to prevent him from getting the numbers he needs. And I believe that's where we're at, folks, in this country. And I think the Democrats know it too. You know, I smell fear. I really do. And I believe that's the real deal. This is MSNBC, and this guy's Morning Joe.
Have a responsibility
horrible,
to really to tune out the voices
3-minute clip
of the haters, of the people that are constantly doubling and
for him.
triple checking and shilling for him and suggesting.
This guy for 3 minutes is going to do nothing but talk shit about Trump and hate on him and make him out to be worse than Hitler. But the point of this video, folks, is they're lying. They're trying to manipulate their audience. They're clinging to desperation on the fact that they got no policy, Joe Biden, to prop up beside Trump and discuss who's better for what reason. They can't do that. Instead, it's attack mode, hypotheticals, fear-mongering, name-calling, defamation in every way, shape, or form. Which brings me to another article today that I won't get into today, but I will be bringing you a follow-up on. Trump is in the process of suing 20 media outlets behind defamation, behind lying about True Social's financial earnings in order to try to dissuade people from advertising over there. And even companies like MSNBC were involved in it. So No wonder they're worried. They're worried about being defunded from the FCC by proxy of Trump. They're also worried about Trump coming after them for their traitorous, treasonous action. And you can hear it here in these folks' conversation.
That somehow they're being biased, bending over backwards, treating him like a normal candidate. He's not a normal candidate. He is running to end American democracy as we know it. He's an authoritarian who a court in Colorado 2 days ago ruled that he led an insurrection against the United States government. He's charged with leading schemes to help overthrow the.
Now, Trump has never been charged for any of these things. He has been indicted. Indicted and charged are two different words when it comes to legality. We all know that, folks. This guy's skating the conversation with the wrong terminology, first thing. And second thing, this Colorado judge said no matter what he thought or she thought about Trump's involvement, this is what was said in what happened. It doesn't say in the 14th Amendment. It doesn't say in the amendment specifically that the president can be charged, and therefore, so she kind of kicked the case to the curb. They're conflating and spinning and lying, and it is just sickening, folks. I've heard the whole story, and this ain't it.
United States government. So if they want to frame it that way, that's fine. If you want to be fair, then you will frame this as Joe Biden being the candidate that supports American democracy, and Donald Trump, a candidate who supports a new form of government here that's authoritarian. It's really that simple. And by the way, Reverend Al, when people go, oh, you can't compare him to past Nazi leaders. You can't compare him to this past Nazi leader or that past fascist leader because he hasn't done that. Well, what hasn't he done? He hasn't done the things that the American judicial system did not allow him to do last time, but may very well allow him to do this time, or a judicial system that will be ignored by Donald Trump and ran over by Donald Trump to create the greatest constitutional crisis of our lifetimes. Just because he hasn't done it yet doesn't mean he won't do it when he gets a chance to do it. And if he is voted into office, then a lot of these people that are talking about literal or figurative or whatever the hell they're saying.
Truth be known, folks, there's a lot of things that Trump promised he'll do that he will do. If he gets the opportunity, he gets his way, he gets in there in 2024, he is going to change things. He's going to rock the boat. He's going to tax some people. He's going to defund some people. He's going to take care of some business, folks. He is going to go after the people that have went after the American people, including these three-lettered agencies. And that is, if that's a threat to democracy, their definition of democracy and mine is totally different. But truth be known, they're talking about worried about Trump and his authoritarian ways of being. The way they lie for Joe Biden proves that they're part of the authoritarian deep state. Just my opinion, folks.
You're going to look like idiots because he will get away with, he will imprison, he will execute whoever he's allowed to imprison, execute, drive from the country. Just look at his past. Folks. It's not really hard to read. The only thing that stood between him and the destruction of American democracy was the federal judiciary.
No doubt about it. And I think that when we talk about framing this.
Wow. I'm glad they cut off Mr. Al Sharpton. I do not even care about what he has to say. He is a race-baiting, hater, sorry human being, sorry excuse for a human being Democrat. He thrives on making a living on dividing the country with the things coming out of his mouth. Every time there is a George Floyd moment, a Black Lives Matter moment, a Breonna Taylor moment, anybody in a criminal situation where you have melanated skinned people as the perpetrator, he's the first one to stand up and say it's racial. This guy is nothing to speak of. I'll just leave it at that. I'll go off on that guy, and I'll have to edit the video, folks. That's just truth of the matter. That's all I got for you, folks. You see what's happening, right? They're in full-blown panic. They're trying to pump this fear-monger. Trump's the enemy. Trump's going to change the world if he gets back in there. Yeah, he is going to change some things, and you may not like it. But truth be known, it'll be the best thing for the country in the long run. Even if the Democrats got to cry some salty tears along the way. We've had to put up with their shit for 3 years, folks. Maybe one more. Now it's fixing to be their turn. I can't wait, folks. We're on the downhill slide. It's happening. The Democrats are falling apart. It's showing. The fray, the ends of the blankets are fraying. It's time to throw that sucker out. Get a new one. I'm talking about Trump 2024, folks. Like, subscribe, and share to Vote of Patriots. Everybody have a great day. And don't watch MSNBC News unless I bring it to you just as contrast for some real situation going on with the panic. Over and out, folks.